Good morning. I'm Tricia Berry. I am the director of the Women in Engineering program at the University of Texas at Austin. And welcome to our volunteer webinar for Texas STEM Connections. We are going to talk through a number of things today to hopefully help you feel comfortable about using Texas STEM Connections to connect in with volunteer opportunities and to find places to plug in and support our classrooms and STEM programs across the state. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the programs that are behind Texas STEM Connections. First up, we have Central Texas Discover Engineering, whose mission is to excite Central Texas K-12 students to pursue careers in STEM. And they do that by connecting in STEM volunteers into classrooms using Texas STEM Connections as the tool to be able to do that. And you can learn more about Central Texas Discover Engineering and ways to get involved at engineerintheclass.org. The Texas Girls Collaborative Project is a statewide initiative to connect and support organizations and individuals who are trying to get more girls involved in STEM. And Texas STEM Connections is one of the tools and one of the platforms that Texas Girls Collaborative Project uses to foster that interest, knowing that role models and volunteering are really key to engaging girls' interest. Million Women Mentors Texas is one of the initiatives of the Texas Girls Collaborative Project and is part of a national movement to really spark the interest in girls and young women to pursue and persist within STEM careers. And in Texas, the Texas STEM Connections portal is one of our ways of connecting in STEM mentors and volunteers with those opportunities to engage with girls across our state. And then the Women in Engineering program at UT Austin is the lead organization behind Texas Girls Collaborative Project that also exists to recruit, retain, and graduate women at the Cockrell School of Engineering at UT Austin. And again, knowing that role models and mentors for current students, for prospective students, are so integral in helping our students understand what it is that they can do with an engineering degree, Texas STEM Connections is an important piece of what we are trying to accomplish. So I'm going to walk through a little bit on what is Texas STEM Connections. I'm going to show a few screenshots of some of the tools so that you can see what we'll be looking at when we actually go into the tool itself. And I'll switch to my screen in order to make that happen. So Texas STEM Connections is an online portal that is aiming to connect STEM professionals to students and to classrooms and to programs through both in-person and virtual connections and any of those opportunities that are requested by educators or program providers. Texas STEM Connections is powered by Nepris. Nepris is a company that does virtual classroom visits and fosters those connections between professionals and classrooms across the country. And we're using that platform for Texas STEM Connections. So if anyone happens to have a Nepris login already, they're able to use that in Texas STEM Connections and gain access to in-person connections, which is not part of the main Nepris platform. So on Texas STEM Connections, it's super easy to sign up for an account. Asks for very minimal information to get you started. Really just your name and your address and a username and then your password. When it asks you to describe yourself in order to be in the system as a volunteer, you would select the option that says, I work for a company, an agency, or an organization. That's what indicates that you are heading into the system as a volunteer and want to find those opportunities that educators have entered in where they're looking for volunteers. Again, the Nepris login, if you have it, would work on this system as well. Logging in through TexasSTEMConnections.org gives you access to the free in-person connection system virtual sessions are fee-based for educators. When you're in the system and logged in, the main menu item that we typically work from is the session menu item. And in particular, the browse the in-person volunteer opportunities and the offer in-person events, services, and opportunities. And I'll walk through both of those in a moment when we go into the actual system. But there's also opportunities to check out volunteer opportunities virtually and offer up virtual industry chats if that's of interest to you as well. When you do search for volunteer opportunities, this is an example of what you would see if you're browsing in-person volunteer opportunities. You see what the educators have asked for. This gives a little snapshot, so you get to see just a glimpse of what they're looking for, the grades of the students that you would be reaching, and just a short intro into the description. And then you can click on the detail button and be able to see much more detailed information on what that educator is looking for and what that opportunity entails. If you were to offer an in-person opportunity, for example, if you have a presentation or if you have a demonstration that you'd like to offer up to schools or to programs, or if your company is offering up field trips or site visits, this is a place where you could go and offer that up, and educators in your area would be able to see that and be able to connect with you to see if that might be something that works for them. So with that, let's head into the actual tool itself, and I'm going to show you my screen. This is the Texas STEM Connections portal. To enter and sign up is where you would fill out that information on who you are and that you're heading into this system as an employee, as a volunteer, as someone with an organization who's wanting to find those volunteer opportunities. I've already completed the sign up, so I'm going to go straight to the login, and I'm going to log into the system, and we'll show you what we're able to do. So once you've created your login and you get in, this is your dashboard. This is the place that it takes you straight to, so you can see what you've done already and what are some of the opportunities right off the bat in the virtual space. The little person on the menu up at the top right is where you can access your account settings and your public profile. When you create your profile, if you can go back in and really add in more details about who you are and your experiences and what it is that you might be able to offer as a volunteer, that helps with the matching process in the platform. So the more details and more information you can provide, all the better for the algorithm to be able to do those matches. So I encourage you to go into those account settings and your public profile and add in more details once you've logged in. Again, the main place that we're going to focus in on is under sessions. And so there are many different things that you can do in here in both the virtual space as well as in the in-person space. So just to give you a little glimpse of the virtual opportunities, if we click on Browse Virtual Volunteer Opportunities, this allows you to see what volunteer opportunities have been entered and requested from educators within our system. So right now, we're on summer break, so many of our educators are off, and there's not any opportunities listed for virtual volunteer opportunities at the moment. However, because this is part of the NEPRIS platform, You also have the opportunity to connect into the broader NEPRIS community to see what opportunities are available in the virtual space. So if we click here where it says to click, you can see there are a couple of requests that have come in from others in the NEPRIS system looking for virtual visits into their summer camps. And so if these are of interest to you, you could click on them. You could click and see what the details are. You can learn a little bit more about what the options are, what the dates are of these opportunities, and then you're able to, yes, sign me up as a presenter, and it connects you with that educator who has made that request, and you're able to get that all set up. You're also able within the virtual space to offer up a live industry chat. So if you're interested in talking to students and offering up a live chat to tell about your experiences, about a project, about something that you have going on that's cool in your STEM professional world, you're able to offer that up within this system as well. And so it has you tell a little bit about what it is that you're wanting to do. It has some templates that talk you through what you might be able to provide and offer up in an industry chat. And again, the virtual visits are fee-based for educators, but there's also the opportunity for educators to access recordings of these later. So it's a way to reach a broad swath of educators and students across the country. So the beauty of Texas STEM Connections is that it adds in the in-person component to the system. And so this is a place where we have lots of educators wanting to bring in those role models and volunteers into their classrooms or into programs in order to directly connect with students and to share your STEM experiences with them. When we browse in-person volunteer opportunities, this is probably the main place where volunteers head to be able to see what's out there and how you might be able to plug in and help. So if we click on Browse In-Person Volunteer Opportunities, you can see up here it says it's showing 18 of 30 in-person session requests. That means we have 30 in-person session requests available within Texas right now, educators, program providers who are looking for volunteers to come in and help in a variety of ways. I have one coming up that's a high school day camp, so we'll use that as an example. So if I look here, this UT Austin High School Day Camp, Lunch with an Engineer, this is focused on engineering. You can see the little tag there that says engineering. You can see the tag that says grade 9 to 12, so this is high school focused. You can see the name of the educator, which is Trisha Berry, so that's me, and the institution that is requesting this volunteer opportunity. So if I click on details, I can go in and I can see that this is going to be on August 9th. The event date is up on the right, and you can see a map with the event location, which is sometimes helpful to be able to see where is this going to be. Can I easily get there? You can see a description of the volunteer need. There are key questions that are entered, so you can see a little bit more of the detail of what we're looking for, what this volunteer opportunity is all about, how it is that we want to engage, what our expected outcomes are for this volunteer opportunity. And then if I were to have had any documents in here, I could have added attachments and additional information. If you have a question or a comment about this volunteer opportunity, you as a volunteer can enter that here and post it, and then an email gets sent to the requester so that the requester can then respond. So that's an easy way for you to connect with the educator if there's questions or comments that you have about this opportunity. If you are interested, you're able to click this "Okay, I'm interested" button, and then what it does is it will send an email to the educator indicating that you are interested in this opportunity and that you would like to volunteer, and then the educator is able to connect back with you confirm with you that it's going to work out and that the details are all set, and it will prompt you throughout the process and send you reminders about the opportunity into your email inbox. So it's a nice, easy way to stay connected in and to stay up to date with what's happening within the system. If you are interested in offering up an in-person event or service, it's also an easy process similar to it is in offering up a live industry chat. So you're able to offer up something where you might go into the school, where it might be out of school. You can offer up a field trip or a company visit. You can offer up a job shadow or externship, an internship, or perhaps you're offering up some STEM camp or some STEM workshop that you'd like to offer. So you can categorize what it is that you are interested in doing. And then the topic title is really critical to be descriptive. Just as you saw in the high school summer camp lunch with an engineer title that I had used, the more descriptive your title, the more likely it is that an educator can grab onto that and see that as something of interest to the classroom. You would enter the description and all of the details about what you are going to be doing and what the students would learn. You save it, and then it's out there for educators to be able to browse and find and connect with you through their side of the portal. So again, a super easy process in order to be able to connect in. The dashboard, again, is the main place to start from and to go back to if you get lost within the system of where you are. Along the left sidebar, it also has the same kind of menu items where you're able to quickly, for example, click on Browse Volunteer Opportunities, and you can browse those virtual volunteer opportunities or those in-person volunteer opportunities right there from the sidebar. So again, super easy to get in and super quick to get into the system, easy to browse and find those volunteer opportunities that are out there. And then everyone who is part of Texas STEM Connections and a user within Texas STEM Connections receives a monthly e-newsletter that summarizes all of the requests that are in the system. So you'll also get that push to your inbox so that you don't always have to go in and browse and search. You can also watch for those emails that come out once a month, and you can see if there are any volunteer opportunities in your area that might be of interest. So with that, I'm going to head back to our Adobe Connect portal, and we're going to look again at a couple more documents, and then we'll wrap this up. So in order to help organizations and volunteers, or to help you spread the word in your organization about how to connect in with Texas STEM Connections and how to use this system, we do have a toolkit that's available that has different marketing materials and sample emails that you could use, or social media messages that you could use to tell about Texas STEM Connections and how it works. There's instruction toolkits that walk you through the system just like I have done with you today. There's also some additional role model resources that I wanted to point out for volunteers. As I mentioned, the Million Women Mentors effort in Texas is using Texas STEM Connections as a platform in order to connect STEM volunteers with those volunteer opportunities. There's also resources on the millionwomenmentors.org website that are available for volunteers to help you understand how to be a better STEM volunteer and role model. FabThems.org is an online STEM role model database that allows students or others to be able to go in and search for STEM role models and to read about their stories, to learn about what it is that they are doing, and to connect with them if interested. So that's a great direct student to role model connection platform. just a few reminders that there are some great ways to be that role model who's going to engage kids in STEM. And if you're looking for some of those role model resources and ideas for how to ensure that that interaction is going to be positive for both you as well as those students you're connecting with, I encourage you to head to the Texas Girls Collaborative Project website at txgcp.org. And under the resources menu item, you can find the STEM role model resources. And these are just a few of the tips that we typically share with role models and volunteers on how to be an effective role model. But first and foremost, understand what the goal is of the interaction, understand with the educator or the program provider what it is that you're trying to accomplish with the interaction, and then make it personal. Use that kid-friendly language and avoid all those acronyms that we oftentimes have in our STEM spaces. Talk about your path. Share those challenges that you've had, not just the triumphs, but the struggles that you've had along the way, and that you're not just this perfect, brilliant STEM person, but that like every career path, we all stumble and fall and trip, and it's the persistence and the figuring it out that is what makes STEM so amazing. And then share how we are changing the world with our STEM degrees. And last but not least, again, Texas STEM Connections is brought to you by Central Texas Discover Engineering, and you can learn more